Hello, this is Sierra and welcome to another video. Today we're doing another Hermitcraft season Clockwork video. We are doing episode 11. Well, part 1 of episode 11. Yeah, you would assume it's part 1 of episode 11. Basically, if you haven't watched the other episode, things have happened. Betrayal has happened. Though, if you've been watching the Hermitcraft series off and on, you might have suspected it to happen. But of course, I just tell a story. And yeah, I tell it the way I feel fit. Because, yeah. Usually Mr. A's men are way scarier than the villains we've seen. Anyway. You can make all the comparison you want, to be fair. Not that important. If you haven't read any of the other chapters, be sure you do so, because spoilers! Things have happened, you don't want to be spoiled, and things are about to happen. You ready? Because I don't think you're ready. You better be ready. Chapter 3. Xisuma slowly regained consciousness as he felt the damp grass beneath him. He opened his eyes slowly, confused and a bit unsure. Where was he? What had happened? How had he gotten here? Was this all a bad dream? A prank? He wasn't sure anymore. His thoughts were interrupted when he noticed something green and long coming towards him. Before he heard the familiar hissing sound as the thing expanded, Xisuma leaped immediately into action as he scrambled away, only to be knocked off his feet again as he was flung a few feet away, groaning. He managed to get to his feet again, glancing at the hole that now existed. There was no longer light coming through the portal either. Had it been damaged in the explosion? How was he meant to get home now? Things began to fall into place as he glanced from the portal to a hole in the earth. Evil X had pushed him through on purpose to try and get him separated from the others. Why? So he could take his place? Surely the other hermits would notice a difference, as a lot of them had met the man before. They tried looking for him, surely. Still, you couldn't be so sure that Evil X hadn't done something to prevent, or at least slow him down from getting home. He had to, though. He didn't know what the man wanted to do. The last thing he needed was the destruction of another home. He needed to find a way back, but how? He needed to get help. He surmised that his best plan of action was probably not going to be resolved here, as he chose a direction and began to walk, leaving the destroyed portal behind as he did so. If someone could help him repair the machine, he might have a chance of getting back and confronting with Evil X. Maybe even foil his plans once again, if he was lucky. Though he still didn't know entirely what the man's plan was. He was purely guessing. Xisuma walked through the trees as he came across a couple of clearings, which didn't seem to hold anything of value as he trekked on, trying to figure out where the best place would be, hoping there would be something he could use to get in touch with someone. The YouTuber came to a third clearing, stopping when he noticed something in the trees. Signs of life. The afternoon sun slid gracefully through the sky as he peered into the clearing, seeing what appeared to be 3 log cabins by a lake of some kind. He could see fish splashing in the lake. In the distance, the sound of birds chirping amongst themselves in the trees could still be heard. He could see a little garden with a beehive close by. Bees were buzzing away as they pollinated the plants nearby and entered their hives to make some honey. The area looked rather cozy, peaceful. He looked around the area, though, thoroughly, as he examined whether or not it was all clear. He didn't see anyone coming in or out one of the houses, yet he wasn't sure he wanted to disrupt whatever peaceful environment was going on here. Sorry for the spelling mistake. If he could get in and out without being spotted, it'd probably be better. Once the YouTuber was sure there was no one around, he walked into the clearing, feeling the hilly earth underneath his feet as he peeked in through the windows of the cabins before spotting what he was hoping for that would be there. A communicator in one of the rooms. Excited and hopeful, the YouTuber went into the cabin and entered the room quietly, closing the door slightly, hoping that the owner of the home wouldn't be back yet. He went over to the device and pressed a few buttons. Once he put in the right coordinates, he sent out a signal. A long moment passed, and then another, until he was sitting there for what felt like an eternity. He wasn't connecting. The hum from the machine was the only thing he could hear as he tried to connect to someone back home. It came back with nothing. This couldn't be good. Suddenly his thoughts were interrupted when he heard a door open and close from inside the house, as a voice trailed through it. The house was relatively small, so he could pick up immediately that it had a specific gentle flow to it. He glanced over at the door warily. Oops. I didn't want to do that. Wondering if she should get out the window while he still could. Unfortunately, the door opened, and a head peeked in. Momentarily startled to see him. Oh, I didn't know you were in here. Sorry, the owner of the voice said sheepishly. It was a young woman in her mid-20s, as she took a step back from the doorway. No, it's okay. I'm no one intruding, Xisuma replied humbly. There's no need to apologize. I can go if you want. You clearly want to reach someone. I'll let you do that, she said hurriedly. There's no need to rush. Yeah, Xisuma admitted as he looked back over at the machine, trying to troubleshoot what was happening. Thing is, this isn't connecting. Strange. It worked earlier this morning, the young woman replied, with a frown as she walked in, standing beside him as she peered at it. Doesn't look tampered with. Probably tampered on the other side, Xisuma said with a sigh. I got separated from my friends, and my evil doppelganger decided it'd be a good idea to push me through a portal. Yikes, this woman stated. That's not very nice. Yeah, the YouTuber chuckled nervously. I need to get back home, but the portal's been a bit damaged by a creeper explosion. We can help with that, she said brightly, as she pressed a few buttons on the machine, until another set of coordinates revealed themselves. First, though, I do want to make sure that someone knows there's something fishy going on. Seems fair, Xisuma nodded, as another voice came through the speaker. How can I help you? The voice stated clearly. Is there any way you can check some coordinates for me? The woman asked. It seems I'm having issues connecting to them through this device. I can do that for you, ma'am, the man affirmed as she rattled off the cords, and there was a long moment of silence. Yeah, the signal is dead. That's a shame, the woman replied. Any way you can fix it? Other than going to the coordinates, no, the man replied. Thanks so much for the help, she replied happily. You sure that's all? The man asked. That's all, she confirmed. And I suppose we'll talk soon, the man mused as the connection was severed. The young woman smiled. Oops. I'm not letting that slide. The young woman smiled, tossing a red-orange braid behind her as her green eyes twinkled in the sunlight. I'm Jim, by the way. Nice to meet you. I'm Xisuma, the YouTuber replied with a nod. Are you sure you want to help me out? You seem nice enough, she said matter-of-factly. I'm sure it won't take long to get that thing working again, so you can return home. Right, the man replied. Well, just so you know, there's 2 other people here, Jim said. I'm going to let Noah know that you're here. He might want to ask you a few questions, so. I'm alright with that, Xisuma said knowingly. He had a feeling this Noah was in charge of keeping an eye on her, as well as whoever the other individual was. He followed the young woman out of the house as he stood outside, deciding it was better to be visible, not wanting to hide anything from these people. They seemed fairly nice and welcoming, which he appreciated. Part of him didn't want to bother them, but he also knew he needed help. He would make do with what he had. Chapter 4. He didn't have to stand out there on his own for very long, since no more than a few moments later, 3 people walked out of the house that Jem had walked into. Xisuma could see there were 2 young women alongside a man who appeared to be in his mid-30s, with wild bronze hair and light brown eyes. His build was structured and broad. Standing tall, he approached the YouTuber as the YouTuber watched Jem and the other one The woman had short brown hair with blonde highlights, her teal eyes watching him intently beside Jem, and they both watched him from the sidelines before going off to do something else. "You must be Noah," Xisuma said rather brightly, as the man looked him up and down. "I am," the man confirmed simply. "I hear you did a bit of intruding not too long ago." "I didn't want to bother you guys, but Jem caught me trying to reconnect with my friends," Xisuma admitted quietly. "All right," the man replied. "I've heard you need a bit of help getting back there?" "Yeah, the portal's a bit damaged," YouTuber stated matter-of-factly. "That's a shame," the man said with a sigh. "We can go over now and take a look." "Are you sure?" Xisuma asked nervously, glancing over where the girl had gone. "I'll be fine for a little bit," the man said with a smile. "Tougher than you think, you know." "I suppose," the YouTuber nodded. "I don't want to keep you too long, though. It should only take a few to access the damage, nothing more. Fixing it is a different story," the man replied with a frown. "That, too, though, shouldn't take horribly long. Probably we'll be back home in a couple days if all goes well." "The sooner the better," Xisuma replied quite quickly. "No one knows what's going on in the world right now. The connection has been tampered with, or at least mine has." "Well, we'll figure this out. Now why don't you follow me?" the man asked with a smile as the YouTuber obeyed, following the man out of the clearing and back into the trees, half memorizing the journey as they took no time at all getting to the portal. Xisuma swallowed as the man approached the destruction and examined it carefully. A long pause of silence filled the area as he watched the man. He could see that the man was thinking of what to say. "Well?" Xisuma finally asked, tired of waiting in suspense as the man walked around the machine several times. "Doesn't look too bad. Just a few blocks need to be replaced and a new control panel. I can get that ready in a day, maybe in a few hours," the man replied thoughtfully. "That's good, right?" the YouTuber pressed. "It is, though it might be a good idea to prepare," the man said cautiously. "If your evil doppelganger did anything to the area to keep you out, of course. Not sure how far ahead he thought of. But if I know him, it's not much," the YouTuber mused. "He basically got all the dirt instead of the brains." The man laughed. "Well then, let's hope he did make that mistake. But you never know what'll happen if you cross that portal." "I'll prepare, if that makes you feel better," the YouTuber said simply. He knew deep down the man was right. He didn't know what he would find when he crossed the portal. For all he knew, Evil X would be there waiting for him so he could shove him back in again. He didn't think that would be likely, but he couldn't be so sure. He needed to have a plan. "Since that's settled, you should probably head back," the man suggested. "I'll do some work while you hang out with the girls, if you choose to, of course." "Thanks. You didn't have to do this," the YouTuber admitted. "I didn't, but that doesn't mean I couldn't," the man smiled. "The cause is required to help anyone who asks of it, regardless of who they are." Smirk, wink, wink. "Right," Xisuma nodded. "That's handy to know." The man nodded once again as they began walking back the way they had come. Xisuma trying to figure out what he might need in regards of facing Evil X. This would not be an easy encounter, but he'd find a way to stop it before it got out of hand. Though he wasn't sure if he was already too late for that. Only time would tell. Chapter 5. Nah, I'm gonna end it here. Sorry, guys. Anyway, this is gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave any thoughts, questions, theories in the comments below. And anything else that you want to add, because that's fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah. I will see you guys in the next one whenever that might be.